Hey, it's Amit from Glammatic, and I'm excited to talk about how important it is to get your messaging right and how that impacts your bottom line. Messaging is a really important part of the overall brand guidelines and branding process. And we talk about color and we talk about fonts in other videos, but getting your messaging right is another really important aspect. So, what is messaging and how do you craft messaging that's going to actually help drive more business? Let's get into it. What is messaging? So crafting messaging is all about figuring out what you're trying to say, who you're trying to say it to, and the ultimate action that you're trying to get people to take. Figuring out the voice that you want to have, both online and in person, is what this comes down to. And that is a direct impact on your brand because you want to have some standardization around this. It shouldn't just be whatever comes to mind you're throwing out there. You should think about the cohesive nature of what is it generally that you're trying to say and the tone with which you're trying to say it so that you can consistently execute on your business objectives. You're going to be using this messaging on your website, on your social media, on your blog, in store, on any flyers or marketing material that you're passing out. And ideally, it's not just you that's sitting there doing it all. Hopefully you have a team that can ultimately help you. So this is why it's so important to have a clear outline and guideline for messaging so that you can be consistent across all channels and you don't have to rely on just you to do all of that work. So the first step is to know your audience. This is the case for all aspects of branding. You want to know who you're talking to. So it's really worthwhile to take a look at your best clientele. Who are your top 5 clients? Who are your top 10 clients? What do they have in common? And brainstorm. This is a great exercise to do with your team. Get your stylists and technicians together and talk through what makes your best clients your best clients. Who are they? Develop this persona of their day-to-day life, what they care about, their interests, their hobbies, their family. Who are they in this descriptive way? And eventually try to figure out the types of messaging that they're going to resonate with. One great tip for being able to do this is following them on social media. If they have social media, find their profiles, follow them. We recommend following your clients on social media anyway, so please do that. It's a great way to stay engaged with them and learn more about them, but especially your top clients, you're going to want to follow them. Take a look at who else they follow. What are the types of accounts that they're looking at, that they're engaging with? What are those brands saying? What is that tone of message? Are they being playful? Are they being sarcastic and joking? Are they being serious? Are they being inspirational? What is it that is really resonating with your target audience? Because that's potentially something you should be doing yourself. The other thing to look at is what your competitors are doing. How are your competitors, especially the ones that are doing well, how are they messaging their material and their product, both so that you can have some inspiration from that, as well as to understand what you should be separating yourself from. Because you want to make sure that you're standing out uniquely among your competition, both online and in store. So getting some research in place about what others are saying is a great place to start. So one tip to get a feel for what messaging to use is, with permission, to actually record the types of conversations that are taking place in your salon already. Sometimes we have this tendency to, when we're writing something down, formalize more or make something more serious than we actually are in person. And again, with permission, if you can get that live recording of how people interact and what's really compelling in store, that could help inform more objectively the type of tone that you should be trying to represent online as well, and really help set those standards. So again, if you can choose those types of interactions that your team is having amongst themselves, as well as with your best clients, that could probably be emblematic of the general outline you want to have for messaging in general. Another tip that I'd recommend for your messaging is to use some of these tools like ChatGPT or Claude or Bard that are free online and can help you brainstorm ideas for your messaging. You can feed it prompts about who you are, what makes you unique, your services, the types of interactions that you're really enjoying, and see what it spits out in terms of a slogan for your business or some messaging that might exist as an about section, and look at the types of mechanics that it's suggesting to use just as a place to start. Whenever we talk about content, I always recommend doing a bit of keyword research. You can look at all sorts of web platforms and SEO platforms online that are free to use. We'll link to one in the description here to give you a feel for what are people actually searching for. Because at the end of the day, of course, you want to have really compelling messaging, but if people aren't landing on your website, if they're not actually reading that content to begin with, it doesn't really matter. And so it's important to always think about what are people searching for and incorporating those keywords into your content as well. You can then formulate that content and style that content in a way that's going to be very personal. Make sure you're talking about the things that people actually want you to be talking about. Finally, just like with any other aspect of your brand creation, you want to test it and iterate it. So take a survey with your customers where they're prompted to look at a few examples and get their take and their feel on what actually represents you best and what resonates most with them. So once you have some ideas in place, write them down, put it into a form, ask your best customers to fill that out, or even just talk it through with them and get a sense for what they think and get their feedback. And that should ultimately inform this live brand. Your brand isn't just this static thing that you do once and it's done. You want to keep iterating on it. You want to make sure that you're continuing to evolve as a business to continue to make sure that you're meeting the needs of your clients. So I hope you enjoyed these tips on how to create and craft compelling messaging for your salon business. We have plenty of other materials out here on how to build great color psychology into your brand and font pairings for your brand, all around crafting this brand identity overall that's consistent across all channels, that's compelling, that makes you stand out, is unique, and helps you drive more business at the end of the day, because it starts online, it comes in person. You have to master the online to be able to master the in-person. So stay tuned, like and subscribe for more. Please comment with any questions or comments here, and really excited to continue with you. Thanks so much.